Now you see I have very little. So I was telling you guys a story about a trailer that I saw in which a woman was blind, but then she's given the gift of sight. She realizes she's beautiful, and it starts causing problems in her relationship. She realizes that she's not as attracted to her husband as she thought, just based on his voice and his personality, and it causes all kinds of problems. So what I was trying to demonstrate to you guys is that the looking out into the material realm is what gets us into trouble. It is the what causes the lust. It's what causes all of these things. Okay, that's why Jesus says, if your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out, because your right eye is controlled by the left side of your brain. Everything crosses in the middle, and this is where we're going to get to the crucifixion later on in the series. Make sure we're still connected. Unreal. Sound is fine, no image. Okay, let's try this. Oh, because it knocked me off of the screen sharing. Okay. Present to everyone. All right, good. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. No reason why that should have done that time. Sabotage, right? As I said, this is some of the most profound information you're ever going to hear. They don't want you to know it. More people that know it, it's going to spread like wildfire, and they will lose the battle. Let's get back to this. So I showed you the tree, knowledge of good and evil. This is the realm that we've been trapped in. And remember, when Eve ate of the tree, what happened, you guys? Her eyes were opened. Now you know what that means. She ate of the tree. Her eyes were opened. Okay, let me see here. What's up with this, man? They are messing with me hardcore. Okay, good. We're back. All right, let's keep going with this. Now, today we're probably only going to get to the eye, but this goes so much deeper. So much deeper, you guys. All right. Casey, how is the eye like the womb? Please extrapolate. Okay, let me extrapolate this for you. This is your iris down here. This is what gives you the color of your eye. It opens and closes as light enters your eye. If it's too bright, it will constrict your pupil so that it does not damage your lens in your eye. And if it is dark, it expands. And what that does is allows more light into your eye so you can make out objects. This is simple eye physiology, public knowledge. But what they don't tell you is that this iris also represents the cervix. And when you're born into sin, into this realm, you are born with a crown of sin. Basically, you crown into the material realm, to the beast realm. Okay, you lose your crown in heaven, and you're born into the beast realm. The child has the umbilical cord. We talked about what that means. That is the hyaloid canal, and the placenta becomes the retina, providing blood. Now, this goes on because a child gestates in the womb after the last menses for 40 weeks. Now you know why they call it 20/20 vision, because 20 and 20 is 40. Now, if you look in the Bible, the womb is called the matrix. Let's look that up. Let me do this right. Matrix. Womb. Okay, they're trying to say it's the Mandela effect now. You are now born from the matrix. Exodus 13:12. All that openeth the matrix is mine. The womb is the matrix. Okay? King James Bible. Now, why would they say that? Because when you cross-section, these are the rods and cones all around the eye. When you cross-section the rods and cones, you get, again, a honeycomb matrix. So we already had a honeycomb matrix, the beehive, underneath our feet, and now we have it in the sky. This is the vault. This is the earth. This is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Here's our white picket fence. The stars are fixed in the firmament. This is the firmament. This is our world. Hell is down here. There are actually 3 levels to the matrix. Okay? Remember, God says we're born into sin. We literally are. We're born into a beast body. Okay? There are 3 levels to the matrix. One in this cross section here, let me show you. These are the rods and cones. This is in the side wall of the eye. Born into this matrix this way. Now, remember, everything's opposites. So there's 3 levels. When you cross-section this cornea down here, forms part of the prison. We're surrounded by the prison. It's under our feet, in the lens, and it's in the walls here. Those are the 3 areas that are cross-section that form a honeycomb matrix. I'm not going to go into that much detail. You can look it up for yourself. Endothelial cornea, if you're interested, cross-section, Google that. Eye, Google that. And rods and cone cross-section, Google that, and you'll find your answers. You will see the honeycomb matrix. Now, we've just compared the womb to the eye. It's undeniable. Why hasn't anyone done this in physiology yet? What else do we have here? Okay, Casey, if this is our Earth, then, and the stars are fixed, why are they moving? I believe this is the answer, and this is called the vortex above us. I believe the movement is an illusion. I believe the vortex, and this is where we get a little bit into the esoteric, and these are my personal theories that cannot ever be proven. And so you can take them or leave them. But basically what you're looking at here is a kaleidoscope effect of light as it passes into a reflective vault. I'll say that again. What you're looking at here is the kaleidoscope effect of light as it enters an enclosed reflective vault. It's a giant mirror in here. And this is what the light does. This is how it scatters. It becomes a kaleidoscope effect. And when you look at this as your viewing area, you begin to see that this actually matches what you would see in the stars. Okay. Now, I believe the Earth model is a raised flat surface. And this is where flat earthers, people actually think I'm a flat earther, and I'm not. I believe that Earth has a slightly raised convex surface, exactly what you see in the lens of your eye. Okay. And I believe the equator is somewhere around here in the middle. Again, Antarctica surrounds this. We have a giant ice wall. North Pole is at the tip here. Let's blow this up. This is how light travels, is scattered. Uh-oh. Make sure we're still connected. Good. And this is the UN map. When you look at the UN flag, they show us these lines. This becomes the path of the sun and the moon spinning around atop the fixed Earth. Now, I don't want to get too much into this discussion about the convex raised Earth. I'm proving it to you with all the other supporting evidence that points to the eye being the shape of the universe, okay? Once you understand that, then it's easy to accept that the lens then becomes the Earth. Now, people are like, okay, well, that can't be because if there's any curvature, the water will spill off. Nope. Imagine that this is level in places where the oceans fall and the rivers fall. Imagine this a tiered mountain. Mountains have lakes. The water doesn't fall off the side of the mountain, does it? Because it collects in lakes. And that's exactly what I believe the world is. It's basically higher in the middle, and on the outsides, it's lower. And water collects in pools, which become our oceans and topography. That's what I believe, okay? Why do I believe that? Because everything else points to the eye being the shape, so the lens has to fit into that. Now, all this kaleidoscope effect here, this is crazy because this is real. Again, this is how light scatters in an inner reflective globe. But what you didn't know is that this same pattern is the current vitreous humor fluid inside of your eye. The current, they measured this, they put dye inside of the inner eye of a person, and they watched the current flow around. And it flows and scatters just as light would inside your eye as it's reflected. To me, that's fascinating. More proof. Again, this is the fluid inside your eye, the vitreous humor, and this is the circulation, the current of it as they've measured it. This also becomes the spinning stars that we see in the night sky. Let's make sure we're connected. I hate to keep checking. Oh God, here we go. Okay, there it is. Good. Stressful, you guys. Them knocking us off all the time. I'm trying to give a presentation here, and they're just messing with us. Always do. Okay, this becomes the star spin. Remember, you're looking at the inner current of the eye. Now I'm going to show you something that's going to blow you away. Night sky, equator, time lapse photography. And this is when it's going to begin to settle in. It's going to begin to convince you. It's going to begin to make sense once you start seeing images like this. This is real. Nobody made this up. This is a time-lapse, stop-motion image at the equator of Earth. I think this one was in Ecuador. And they followed the path of the stars as it traveled through the sky for the 9 or 12 hours that it was dark. And here on the horizon, you can see dawn and dusk. And this is this. The inner eye, our sky. This becomes the lens. This is fascinating. It's the same image. The star flow, we'll call it. Now, Casey, what is this? Let's get back onto this. This is real. This is a real image. This is the North Pole Star and the South Pole Star. They're calling it the South Pole. I don't think there is a South Pole. I think there's a South Ring. Again, that's a whole nother discussion. Let's stay focused here. This is the star pattern. This is what we see. It gives it away. All right. Now in Psalm 23, when David said, I shall walk through the valley of the shadow of death, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I shall lay down in green pastures, is kind of how the verse goes. I think this here is the valley of the shadow of death. This is where we are. We've dropped into. He is my rod and staff. Well, a staff is straight, a rod is curved. You look at biblical images of ancient rods and staffs, you will see. And God breaks us through the eyes of Molech. These are the owl eyes of Molech. Imagine you're standing on a glass floor and you can see below the horizon, you have owl eyes. And this is why the evil ones worship Molech. Okay. That's why Molech is milk, M-L-K. And because the Milky Way of the sky. Molech, Milky Way. I know I'm kind of talking like we're all in third grade, but sometimes these concepts are easy for me to understand, but when I'm explaining to other people, it takes a minute to sink in. M-O-L-E-K is the phonetic spelling of Molech. When you take the M, the L, and the K out, you get milk. This is why every time you see someone die in a movie, they're drinking milk or milk is spilt. You'll start to see this now that I've mentioned it to you. This is why they put kids on the milk carton. Okay? Now, let me keep going with this. Let me refresh this. Here, refreshed. Now you know who Molech is. Now you know why they worship owls. You get it now. Well, Casey, you know, God made the sky. Why? Because this is sin. The stars wouldn't do this if we weren't locked down here in the sinful realm. Okay? And therefore the enemy worships this. The whole spinning thing, we're all spinning, right? We're all dizzy. That's sin. We're dizzy. Okay? From being here. It's part of like the hall of mirrors. Everything's reflecting and confusing us. Everything's inverted. It's upside down. It's spinning. That's why you always see these images of the spiral and the swirl. Anytime they want to like put you to sleep, they show the swirling action, right? That's bad. That's a bad thing. Okay, so that's why they worship this Molech, the spinning and confusion. Babylon, right? Okay, what is Babylon? We're babies. We're born into this beast realm as babies, babbling. Is it all starting to sink in yet? Now, let's keep going with this. Got a couple more images I want to show you guys. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, Casey, so this light here that comes in forms like a pyramid. Now you can understand why they use the pyramid and all-seeing eye as their symbol. Okay, because that represents the pyramids on earth, capstoning with the eye, but blocking the upper pathway of light, which forms another pyramid going back to heaven, an inverted pyramid. You kind of almost see it here. Here's the inverted pyramid. Here's the pyramids on earth. They want to be pharaohs on earth. Pharaohs are Pharisees. They want to rule over man and cut God out. They want to be the brokers of faith and control. Pharaoh, Pharisees. Up here is the inverted pyramid going back to heaven. This is the light. Now we're going to get into the pathway because we're still stuck in the eye. This goes in and crosses at the optic nerve, and that is the crucifixion, but we'll get into that. That might be the next show, the groundwork, and show you guys the structures of the inner eye and how this becomes our universe. And next, we'll get into the light passing in through the optic nerve and what all that means. Now, while we're here with the eye, let's see here. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see here. That's about all I had with these. Now, in later shows, we're going to show you biblical history, events going back to the beginning of the Bible, the beginning, the flood, and even Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, which overlay this image here, all right? We're going to see the anatomy of the eye repeated over and over again in biblical stories. It doesn't mean the stories did not happen. What this is a confirmation that God is real, because he had the Bible patriarchs act out through the will of God. He gave them instructions. What do you mean, Casey? Well, there's a reason why God told the Israelites to pass through the Red Sea. Are you seeing what I'm telling you? There's a reason why only a remnant passed through the Red Sea during the Exodus out of Egypt. Remember I told you the pyramids were here in Egypt, all over the earth? There's a reason why God had them exodus through the Red Sea. Are you understanding what I'm saying here? There's a reason why there was a remnant, because in here, when the hyaloid canal dissipates after birth, what is left is a remnant. Yes, it is called a remnant, and they're called floaters, and it's leftover hyaloid canal, the hyaloid artery, and it looks like floaters in your eyes. It looks like a string of pearls. Okay, that's the Israelite remnant that came out of the pyramids, came out of Egypt, headed toward the promised land. How long were they in the wilderness when they parted through the Red Sea? Parted hyaloid canal. See this? It's all here, you guys. How long were they there? 40 years. 40 weeks is the gestation of the child. There's also some 40 synchronicities I can't think of off the top of my head that deal with this hyaloid canal. I think when the fetus is 40 millimeters, this develops in their eye. So there's all these 40s. Okay. Now you know why they went through the Red Sea. What was leading them through the Red Sea during the Exodus? It was the Ark of the Covenant. What is the Ark? Ark of light. The Ark, the pillar of fire by night, the pillar of cloud by day, is what it was led by the Spirit of God. Okay. Which points back to the flood ark that Noah built. Where did he pass through? It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Let's make sure we're still connected. Good, we're still connected. Rained for 40 days and 40 nights as he passed through his Red Sea with what? A remnant, 8 souls to restart the world.